Hello everybody, this is Bench85. Welcome back to another episode of Farming Simulator 17, Season 3. And that's right, I'm spreading some poop around. It finally warmed up enough. It's 32 degrees for a surface temperature, so I can finally work the fields up. And I did come up with an interesting little bug. Well, not really a bug, a limitation of what's going on. So you can see the limits there of where the fertilizer or where the manure was able to be spread, and it fits the exact location of the actual field where we were spreading before. Unfortunately, I don't think I can fertilize that hill unless I dig it up, and I'm not going to dig it up this time of year because otherwise we're not going to be able to get any hay out of it. Maybe we'd get some rain at the end of the year, but I don't think it's worth it to dig it up right now. So we're just going to have to go with no fertilizing of that section of the hayfield and just kind of deal with it for this year. And we'll fix it up for next year. You can see I also end up going over $1 million again. So we are sitting good for money here. I can't seem to follow the edge of this field. This curviness seems to bother me a little bit. But things are cruising along. I've got all the grass, or the hay fields, fertilized all the way. And just to prove my point, here, let me stop for a moment. You can see here, this section here, this was all trees here. You can see it's listed as fertilized because, well, I dug it up first, and then you can spread on it after you do that. So just something we have to deal with. Like I said, it's not a bug, it's just kind of limitation, and it makes sense. So we'll just have to dig that up next season. See if I can get this turn. Yeah, right about there. Just trying to get the outside filled in here. We should have plenty of manure here to do this field, as well as hopefully the rest of them. I don't know, we're gonna have to find out. But there is a lot of fields here to try to cover. So I want to get this one done specifically first. I'll have to clean up that corner, aren't I? And I'll have to see. I'm probably going to end up doing it like I did... Or wait, no, this is going to be... Oops, I did not mean to get that. I'm sorry, neighbor farmer. This is going to be a cornfield, so the second stage of fertilizer is going to be coming from the planter. So I don't need to worry about spreading the liquid fertilizer on it. The liquid manure. So, not a big deal. And see, I think I'm gonna get all the way around this field. I was not full when I started this. I was spreading, well, those two sections that I dug up there that were trees. I did that first. So I mean, this isn't a full spreader fold, but it's pretty close. Let's see here, there we go. Track that edge. Yep, we're gonna get all the way around and we're gonna make another pass or something here. So I'm just gonna keep chugging along here, and hopefully we can get the seed in the ground pretty soon here, because we're gonna have to start cutting hay pretty soon. Unfortunately, this spring is moving along very quickly, and well, I guess it's like in your life here, where we basically went from a really late winter, because we had snow in April there, to full-on summer, as we've got another, wow, today was our first day of 90-degree weather here, which is kind of early still for 90-degree weather for us. And we got another day tomorrow that's going to be probably around 95 with high humidity, so it's going to be a beach day tomorrow. Luckily I've got off here for this Memorial weekend. But yeah, we're just going to keep plugging along here. Sunset's going to be coming pretty soon here. I'm going to run out of daylight, so I got to keep working. But I'll keep you guys up to date as we continue on here. Alright, so it has managed to warm up a bit here. Still only 46 degrees for a ground temperature, so I can't put any corn in yet. I'm hoping that I can do it tomorrow. Unfortunately, we're putting all this stuff in on the weekend, so we are paying double time, overtime to all of our workers here that we've got hired. And I'm glad I picked up the second wagon here. I filled it up with seed in between here. And unfortunately, I think my drill down here is going to end up running out of seeds, so luckily we can just bring this down here. We don't have to bring it all the way back to the farm. We can just fill stuff up real quick and just continue on our way. So I'm just going to park this up in here. Actually, I don't know. Try not to get into his way. There we go. So I'm going to do pipe out. And do like such. So let's kick all the way around here. Yeah, see, he's at 5%. He's not going to make it. So all we got to do is back into here and fill her up. We'll be set to go. I was kind of worried about getting behind on things here. But I'm looking at it now. We may end up getting our corn in before spring turns, which will be nice. At least most of it. It all depends on when the rain comes in Monday. Because the issue is going to come in is that planting is going to be slower than the digging up of stuff. And it took me almost an entire day to dig the field. The big guy that we're going to be putting corn into. So it's going to take at least a day probably to plant that, or somewhere along those lines. Which is unfortunate, but at the same time to be expected. I mean, it is a very big field. So, of course, this guy's going to head out that way. We're going to have to be mobile with the seed, obviously. It's what we've had to do in the past. Fertilizer, we're probably going to have to fill up with fertilizer at some point too, but I'm not going to worry about that unless we absolutely need it. And I do have the second wagon that I can bring out that has fertilizer on it. And we can always throw a different tractor on it to bring it out. No big deal. It's just this guy's has obviously become our utility tractor, kind of like our Blue New Holland was that we sold off. Of course, this has got more hours than that one had. I've used this tractor a whole lot, and will continue to as well. You can see I got this field in. I didn't tell you what I was doing. I put barley in here to get a little more straw out of this field. And then the two fields over there that I'm putting in canola. Simply because a lot of the fields around here that we're probably going to be purchasing up this year and harvesting is going to have canola, so I figured we might as well have the same thing. This kind of makes it easier, especially if you get a price that gets to be real high. It's kind of nice to have the same seed coming in, or that you can sell. Then you can sell it at a larger amount. Yeah, I'm not sure where I want to put this. We've got fields here, we got fields down there. We may just end up leaving it out here somewhere. Like maybe right here. And just kind of calling that good for now, and then we can fill up when we get to this point. At any point. There we are. So this will be the last of this, and then I'm going to have to wait till tomorrow to start planting corn. So as you remember, it takes... it needs to be 50 degrees, and we're at 46 right now. So we'll get there. Like I said, it should be up to temp tomorrow. That shouldn't be an issue. And we'll try to get... We'll probably do the smaller fields first, and then we'll see how far we get on the big field. and then we'll just have to continue planting Monday if need be, and hopefully get everything in before the rain. Because if you look at our map here, oop, too far. So this guy's planted, and these two are almost planted. These two are going to be corn, like they always are. These two are hay, grass. You don't see that. So this one will be corn, and these two right here will be corn. There, that's actually the better view. So you can see here, growing, growing. This will be corn, and these two will be corn, and then these two right here are grass. And that's grass. So, definitely making our way along. I'm contemplating buying this field here. I just haven't decided exactly what I want to buy. Gonna look into it here a little bit more as the crops start to come into harvest. Like I said, we got over $1 million to work with, so we're definitely gonna buy up some fields. And we've got a little bit to play with loan, I'm sure. I think our loan increases as we buy up more land because we have more, basically, equity to borrow against. So then we can also get more cows here. When is that usually? I always forget when the best time is to buy cows. 5th day of summer. Okay. Well, I shall have to remember that. Ooh, it looks like, yeah, there's a little bit left there. I'm hoping he doesn't turn around. Yep, he's turning around. I don't know why they do that. But, yeah, I'm going to keep working here, and then tomorrow we're going to start putting corn in, so I'll bring you guys back tomorrow when we start working up that big field. So, slight update. For one thing, I don't know if I showed this to you guys after digging it up and everything. Actually, it's probably hard to see without having a vehicle here. But you can see I got this all dug up pretty nice here. Obviously, I can't get rid of the little bushes and stuff there. Took this all the way to the road pretty much. It even follows the curve here now. So we've got a nice rounded edge to our field. I like it a lot. I like how it looks. Adds a little bit more to our fields, but unfortunately, if you look at the temperature of the ground, it is only 48 degrees. That is not warm enough to plant corn, so we are going to have to wait until tomorrow. Forecast for tomorrow, rain. Forecast for the next day, rain. We may have a big issue trying to get our corn in, and the other fun part is if we do get the corn in, I don't think we're going to be able to get the hay in between all this. So, unfortunately, we may have to wait until midsummer instead of early summer to take our first crop of hay off. And that's going to push our second crop off even later. This is going to be interesting right here. Boop. But we'll make it work. So I guess we'll see what the forecast holds for us tomorrow. So it turns out it actually rained all morning. Just now it finally got dry enough that we can actually start working up the fields. And before you correct me, yes, I know. I think technically you can plant fields and stuff like that while it's still wet, but in my mind, you shouldn't be able to. Oh, it did miss a spot. Well, that's fine. No big deal. And yes, I did double check. I'm putting corn in. Don't worry. I know I did that in the last map that one time. Went to plant a bunch of corn and ended up getting a bunch of sunflowers instead. The only thing I don't like about this planter is the turning radius isn't that great. Oop. Probably shouldn't be hitting trees with it. That's alright, we'll make a pretty good sized headland here and try to fill in this area here first, and then we'll start working the field going that way. Not a big deal. But unfortunately, this also means that I have no idea how things are going to work out. I'm hoping that that means that the rain on Tuesday here is going to hold off for quite a while. But I guess the important part is we try to get the fields planted uniformly. Like if we get to the end of the day here, I want to be finishing whatever field I'm working on, and the rest of it will just leave until tomorrow. Obviously the other fields are going to be ahead by a little bit, but when it comes down to it in the fall, that's fine. We'll just we'll chop up some before, and then we'll wait a little bit and we'll finish chopping at a later date. That's actually not that unusual, at least for us. I know some of the bigger farms don't deal with that, but on the smaller farms we would do that all the time, simply because you would have upright silos, and you would want to fill them at different times. So if you planted everything all at the same time, chances are you weren't going to fill them all at the same time. You'd have stuff that would dry out too far, and dry silage in a silo, especially an upright, usually spells fire risk. So that was never a good thing to have happen. Can I make this turn? Doesn't seem to want to. And the other thing we would do sometimes is we would take off a first crop of hay, and then we would plant some corn late, which actually in this game is entirely capable of doing it, especially if you're rotating crops a bunch. You could easily take off this first crop here, because the first day of summer here would be your cutoff point. Your grass or your hay would be fully grown. You harvest it, then you dig up the field and plant corn in it, and it would make it out just fine in the fall time. You could definitely harvest it. So I never actually thought of that. That is entirely doable, and that's actually really cool, because that's something that people actually do in real life that would transfer over into this game, at least in the seasons mod portion. Obviously it wouldn't work in the stock game, but well, that's a stock game for you. I haven't actually planted much here, and it looks like I'm already at less than 80% for seed. Not ideal, but that's why we have the wagon out here, because I knew we were going to be filling this guy up multiple times. Not a big deal. We'll just let the hired help go as long as he can, and when he runs out, we fill it up and then start him up all over again. Entirely doable. So I'm gonna keep going here, and we'll see where we end up. And obviously I'm gonna make sure to show you when I start the big field and when I finish it, just to show you how much time it takes to plant that field. Especially when you figure your in-game time, you know it's gonna be 5 hours for every 1 hour real time of doing it. So you'll be able to see straight up what the actual time was, because you can compare it off of game time. So we'll see how that works. So I'm just going to keep working here and see how far I can get before the end of the day here. So I will be back in a little bit. So unfortunately we're getting a bit of a late start here. The rain went through. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we're starting to plant the big field. This is all we got left for corn, so time to see where we end up with things here. Well, so it actually went a lot better than I expected it to be. Just thinking about it as I'm working here, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that the max speed you can plant at is 12 miles per hour, whereas the cultivator was 6. So really, even though this is much narrower, it ends up being about the same. So regardless, it's going to take about 5 hours in game to get this all planted up, and this will be the last field we have to get planted. So that is very exciting news for me. So it means we can go into the summer now and get some hay cut, get some hay put up, because we are running low on hay, and we're also going to be able to get some more cows and really push things with the cows. Looks like our grass is all ready to go, so we're going to see. I might end up cutting it Thursday and baling it Friday. It would be nice to do that. That way we don't get behind one section of season. But we'll see how the weather works, because as you know, it can rain at any point during the day, and it all depends on when it wants to rain. I kind of want to drive through here. This is going to be kind of a tunnel almost. Kind of like how our field roads were lots of times when we had corn on both sides, and especially when it grew taller. It was like driving through a tunnel. It's kind of neat. But that's how this is going to be right here now. Yeah. Nice part is we get a bunch of corn ready to go. Oh, it actually did come through the road. Ooh, we got some pavement corn. Nice. Well, that means you could probably almost get away with digging this entire area up and not even caring about the road. That would be an interesting thought. Because then I would probably cut out a road right here and go alongside the water. We might do that this winter, we'll see. But that's going to wrap things up for this episode. We got everything planted. Everything's ready to go. It's summertime. 82 degrees out. It's beautiful out. I'm going to put some of this stuff away. We got some new equipment. New tractor, all that kind of stuff. I'm excited where things are going. Ooh, I can't see. And I'm excited to see how things go as far as keeping these animals alive, seeing how much food we're going to need to keep them going. But we will get to that point as we go along. We got our new tractor really dirty. Yeah, we did. But thank you all for watching, and as always, guys, take it easy.